morning. We've left Ankara now. We're on our way to a place called Bagazali, I think they call it.
Then we're going to the archaeological site of Hattusha.
Well, yeah, we're going to the archaeological site of Hattusha. I think we call him Hattusha. I had two with them this morning as well. The road that we're following, as best I can tell from your old map, is the same road. So I know it won't look anything like what it was when you came in the late 60s. However, it's as close a road as possible to what it is. It's the main route through. So if you look at our map from Ankara and following it, then you'll pretty much be able to see where we're heading. But it is and does follow and match your map, the road. So this is obviously a newer version of it. We're at the minute passing through a town called Kirakali. Very industrious town. I can't say I've seen many houses except for lots and lots of business. Oh, there's a couple of houses. You might see the sign up there that says EDS. EDS is like an electronic, I call it an electronic driving system if you like, makes it easier. I don't really know what it actually stands for, but what it does is they're monitoring the traffic all the time, and they can alter things from a central control room to ease traffic in certain parts. Now we seem to be coming to the area where people live. But all the bit we've just gone through has just been a big industrial area. So it monitors traffic. So what they can do is alter speeds, all sorts of stuff like that. Put traffic lights on, stop you coming through, speed other areas up. And there's quite a lot of places around here that are actually like that. Starting to slow down a little bit. Being as to say there's cameras. We've had a little bit of rain this morning, a little bit of drizzle. It's not anything to worry about. There's a few spots now. But our temperature's around about 18 degrees. Road signs. None of you ever recognise any of them. Yozgat, Coram, Samsun. You wouldn't have gone to Coram, I don't think, because that's a little bit north. It's slightly out of your way. Not sure about Yozgat and Samsun, to be quite honest, but Coram is slightly north. We'll be heading there for our overnight stop, so we're going to get ourselves hooked up properly, get some nice hot showers, do a repair on the toilet, because that we think that there's like an opening on the toilet that when you open the top of it you can close it, and it's all on a rubber seal. We think something's got caught on it, so we're having to suffer a little bit of a smell at the moment.
So it's just a
But it'd just be a case of getting that out, having a look at the cassette, cleaning that around that door part on it. How spectacular is that? It's really cool, that does, yeah. We're still on the main road through the country, so it's still the same one that you would have taken, or as close to the same one as you would have taken. I do like Turkey. The people are really, really nice. I mean, we were using the metro, which is the underground, a little bit yesterday when we'd had enough walking. And we got down into the underground, and even though it's quite a basic underground, as in there isn't lots of lines, there's only 3, I think. We had trouble figuring out which one we wanted to be, and when we were looking at it, we had somebody just said, could they help us, and they pointed us in the right direction. In fact 2 or 3 people did, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then without us asking, I think they could see how lost we were.
Yeah.
And we that happened a couple of times while we were using it, which we're really grateful for.
Yeah.
Nice and clean down there, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, lovely. We weren't as often as other places, however,
No.
didn't wait long, did we?
No. And there's no. The weird thing is, if we'd have been in Morocco, well, shall we say an African state, Morocco or Egypt, there's an expectation of being paid, being tipped for that, whereas there isn't here.
Yeah, even fill up with fuel in Morocco, they wanted tipping, didn't they?
Yeah. Not sure of the date yet, but this is part of what they call the lower temple, and we'll have a little bit of a look around here. It's mostly ruins. We're getting ourselves in front of the coach so I can get over to the board on the far side. Yeah, it's often a bit more difficult when there's a coach party there. The person that's doing the tour doesn't want you to hear what he's saying because they've paid for it. So and to be quite honest, they generally talk a right lot of shite anyway, because we've heard them, and some of the stuff they tell you is a lie. It's not necessarily true. A bit like what I do on here, where I do my interpretation of something. Now that's a bit strange because it's like a stone that's different from the other stones. So let's have a look. Yeah, it's a different stone entirely. Oh, it's ever so smooth. That is really smooth.
Oh, wow, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, not really sure what that is. Maybe something will tell us. I'm going to take a stab at this. That this bit here either ran water through it.
Some kind of wash thing, yeah.
Yeah. The water came through on. It looks that sort of thing. Difficult to tell what they are, but if we can get over to these boards, it might be a bit easier for us to understand bits of it. But I must admit, it's a gorgeous day. Today, for me, the weather is absolutely perfect. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, there's a gentle breeze. It's lovely. Really, really, really nice. Anyway, I think what we've got down the bottom there is was something that's been rebuilt. I'm fairly sure. Looks in too good a nick to be anything else. However, I think it's a replica of something, and I'm only getting that from the board. That's because of the picture on the board. But I will read what it says. So it says, reconstruction of a part of the Hittite city walls. So that's what we're looking at. So based on terracotta models found during the excavations, a section of the Hittite city wall was reconstructed in the lower town during 2003 and 2005. The reconstruction part rests on top of the original Hittite foundation, which were built as casemates with its length of 65 metres. It represents approximately 1% of the overall length of the outer city wall. So that's what the city walls would have looked like. So I suppose it's quite a formidable fortress, really. I presume that these would have been like buildings. There's a lot of archaeology work that's going on around and down there. We nearly got caught out. We got our tickets, which were free, which is really good. However, when we got them, I just said, "Oh, which way do we go?" We went 6 kilometres that way. So we followed the coach up. The coach stopped here. So we presume is what you actually do is you drive a little bit and stop a little bit. Now, whether the main part of the site is at the other end or it's a 6 kilometre route, I don't know, but there's an awful lot of excavation work that's going on around here. I suppose the beauty of it in a way is you're allowed to walk around it and touch things, which when you're in Greece, a lot of it you can't. A lot of it's blocked off. That's the same as in Italy when you're looking at their bits and pieces as well. So let's have a look and see what this says. So I think this area that we're studying at the minute is a representation of what that would be. And it says this is the largest temple of Hattusha. So it's not Hattusha like or Hattusha or whatever it was. It says it's Hattusha. So this is the largest temple of Hattusha. It was most probably dedicated to the highest deities of the kingdom, the weather god of Hatti and the sun goddess of Rina. Only the sokol of the structure was built of large limestone blocks. Upon this rested walls of a timber frame construction filled with mud bricks, nothing of which has endured. What we can still see are frequent dowel holes. We'll see if we can find some of those, which connected the timber frames of the walls to the stone foundation. The temple was covered by a typical flat roof sealed with mud. So these are just showing you the gates that come into it and the entrances. Now, where are they? I don't even know if we're going to see these holes. No, I can't see them. Don't even know if I'm looking in the right place. So it was actually only the base was this limestone, or this stone. The rest of it was timber that was built on it, which means because that will have just disappeared over time. But I tell you, it's a very, very big site. A very big site. Like I say, there's lots of excavation work going on down there. It is a UNESCO heritage site as well. So there's some buildings overlooking like a terrace. I mean, look at those pots. We've seen similar type of things in Greece, and Spain. Italy. I don't know if did we see any in Morocco when we went to the
we did.
Morocco as well. So it's obviously a vast site and area. But the views are spectacular. I think it's really, really nice. As a slight change of subject, when we were driving here, one of the last towns that we went through, I have never seen so many tractors for sale in my life. You went past, there must have been 30 or 40 different companies selling tractors. There were hundreds of them, and you can see why, because when we came to this village, this little town, all we've been seeing are hundreds of tractors everywhere. We found some of the holes that would have been for the structures. Whether they've been re-drilled out, I don't know. It seemed perfectly round to me, but who knows. But there you go. And from them, they would have made a wooden walls, mud daub, and then roofs. So, but they're not what I expected. I kind of expected them to be bigger than that, big square holes, but there is an awful lot of them, so it is what it is. The stone that we saw earlier that was all nice and shiny is made out of a material called nephite, and it was the reason why it's all shiny and smooth is because people keep touching it. And what they used to do is used to make sacrifices, probably at that altar on there to the gods. I don't think there's really much more I could really say about that. We got that from that guide, we overheard him. So although we think they talk a lot of shite, well, seems a guy quite like that explanation for it, so whether it's thingy or not. However, when he was telling those people, he was saying about the buildings all being made out of stone, and we know already, because we've read, we could be bothered to read it, that actually they weren't all made out of stone at all. Only the bases were made out of stone, and then they were like drilled, and then posts were placed into them, so they could use like a kind of a wattle and daub effect to build a wooden structure over it. So anyway, we'll go and have a look at over this side and see what it says. There was a guy that was washing his coach, and jokingly he turned around and said, "You won't wash my van for me?" And he went, "Yeah, all right then." So he's I think he's doing the windscreen, that look like for us. He's just there, look, around the front on the van there. There he is, look. Thank you so much. I can't believe he's doing that. I suppose that just kind of sums up how nice the people are. It was just a joke. I must crack more of them jokes to these Turkish people. So this is what's called the house on the slope. That's what they think it would have looked like originally. So the remains on the slope between the royal citadel of Bokhari and the Great Temple are part of the old city of Hattusha, which was protected by a fortification wall, the Postern Wall, built probably not later than the 16th century BC. There was originally many structures terraced in the slope here. The so-called house on the slope was two stories. Its size suggests an official function. It could hardly have been a private residence. One room alone in the upper story was made from the burnt mud brick walls. In the back part of the building, having survived to the present day, is now sheeted and there's a protected wall around it. So I think that's a bit further up. Maybe, possibly. I don't see a protected sheet over anything.
There's a gate something going that way.
Yeah, but there's like a gate and an area up above, so I think we might, when we walk back here, so no. Oh yeah, you can see them working up a bit further up, so if I come back to the road a bit, you can see them working. So that's the protected bit. There you go, look. So the protected piece is up there where the archaeologists are working. There's archaeologists working all over on here. Okay, we're moving on now. It's about a 6 kilometre like ride round, so we're led to believe. We're just coming up past some more walls. I mean, these have obviously been reconstructed. You can see why it was a good place to live and protect yourself, because it is up on a hill and the views are quite spectacular. I mean, I've just run across those buildings that are on there. I mean, if you look, you can see right across the valley. Oh yeah, you go to the right. Very. Even though there's no archaeology in this little bit, I mean, they are up just behind us on the right hand side that you can't see. It's still quite nice to just drive, you know, nice and steady and slow through these mountains or hills.
And that's the view from up here.
If you look, you can see some remains that we're kind of looking down on as we're climbing up in this mountainous area. I think they made good use of this like little valley in between all of the rocks, the mountain bit. So spectacular views, really spectacular.
Now a clean windscreen.
And a clean windscreen, yeah. I gave him, we keep plenty of sweets in the van, and I know that for some of them now it's quite insulting to try and pay them for something that they're doing as a favour. So I had a box. I got a box of lemon sherbet, them sour ones. I give him them. I tried to explain that the sours, but I think he's the driver of the coach, so I think it's probably something he can, suck on. He might just spit them out. Who knows?
Long windy road.
Yep.
Some cows.
There's a resident just coming up there, look. What he's doing up here, God alone knows. But we would have normally have walked this, but we're kind of a little bit stuck for
We told them though. They told us to drive.
Yeah, he says drive, didn't he?
He told us to drive, he didn't tell us we could walk. We got the option, I told the children to walk, we didn't get the option.
No. We did talk about it, and we did say
We could have walked it.
We could have walked it.
If we knew.
However, we don't think we've got the time to do that. So we'll stop here. There's a little lay-by bit on here. So we'll pull in here. Maybe there's a reason why. Who knows? We'll see. There we go. We're just following this, which I think is probably the upper part of the wall. So it is a big place. I reckon it's about 6 kilometres all the way around. So it's quite a distance. We're just trying to stay in front of the coach if we can. Looks like we're on another pull-in, so we'll stop here. Looks like this point is called Yer Cappy, so we kind of just followed that wall that I was just showing you, and we're climbing these steps. It looks like there's some sort of cave, I think. We'll read what it says. Yeah, so Yer Cappy, an artificial bank about 30 metres high, 250 metres long and 80 metres wide at its base. Forms the southern end of the city fortifications. The city wall runs along the top of the bank and is interpreted in the middle by the Sphinx Gate. Beneath the gate is a postern, a 70 metre long tunnel built of large boulders before the bank was heaped over. Yer Cappy means door in the ground. The Yer Cappy rampart lies at the highest part of the city, and its function was most probably representative rather than protective, as can be seen from the design on the outside. It is recommended to go down through the tunnel, then turn left and walk along the foot of the bank to the eastern staircase, which leads up onto the bank and back into the city through the Sphinx Gate. So that's what we shall do. So it recommends that we go into this tunnel. Okay, it has that same shape to it, that not an arch, I can't remember what they called it down there. Not an arch, but like a V shaped, an inverted V, I think is the best way of explaining it. We are walking downhill as we go through this tunnel, and this, you can't believe that this is the thickness at the bottom of the city wall. So that all this was man-made. Well, I think, what did he say, it was 30 metres long, I think he said. Or was it 70 metres long? I think 70 metres is a long way. I think 30. Anyway, whichever it is a long way. Wow, it is a 70 metre tunnel, not 30, 70 metres. Wow. Narrowing off a little bit here. And then it opens up. You see the rebate for what would have been the doorway on the thing there. So have a turn around and see what it looks like. Nothing particularly fancy about it. It says the outer face of the artificial Yerikapi bank was covered by a stone pavement with neat corners, thus resembling a truncated pyramid. The pavement was partially removed during the later rebuilding operations. The depression in front of the bank, where much of the earth fill came from, increases the monumental impression. Here the difference in height is 35 metres at the western and eastern end staircases that lead up to the top of the bank. The tunnel exit was closed by a door. The interpretation as a secret exit for soldiers trying to get behind an enemy attacking the city wall is not convincing, because the door is not hidden in any way, rather a ceremonial purpose or simply a means of easy access into the city at times of peace. So there, but that is, so all this mud came from here, which is in front of us, to build that there. That is fantastic. We're walking along the foot of the wall, formidable wall, and like I say, this is 70 metres thick, which is just incredible. I mean, man hours and manpower, wow. There's a building down there, not sure what that's for. Yeah, but wow. I mean, I can imagine people trying to climb that in war, and you just pour boiling oil down and it just rolls down it. And this as well. Yeah. So you've not just got that, there's this banking, and all this was all taken from in there, which gives it even more height. Wow. Oh, and then we climbed the stairs.
Oh wow.
So there's this way there was a stairwell in. So we've come around here. Obviously people have got to come from down there somewhere. I mean, I know things will have changed on a few bits and pieces, but you know, I mean, this is a quite formidable fortification.
Wow, look at those stairs.
They're amazing. They were hard to climb, them steps, I can tell you. So there they are, look. Views. Wow. Okay, we're still walking around the outer rampart. I'm assuming what's coming up is the Sphinx gate. Whew. We'll soon see. Okay. We've made it up to the Sphinx Gate. It's a middle section of the city wall that runs over Yerikapi, the artificial bank. Unlike the Lion's Gate and King's Gate, this gate is not flanked by towers but leads through a tower. Only the outer doorway has a pair of wooden doors all 4 door jambs, but a representation of sphinxes. So there's the view. There's what was the Sphinx. And then through to the second one, and these recreation of sphinxes on this side. So this is on the inner part of the wall, and these are recreations of what they look like. And there's the top of the main wall. You can see some of the foundations. Actually, you can see a lot of the foundations from up here. So it says the upper city, the highest elevation in the terrain at Yerkapi, offers the excellent lookout view over the city of Hattusha. Stretching to the left and right, you see fortifications climbing upwards from the Lion's Gate in the west and the King's Gate in the east. They were established when the extent of the city of Hattusha doubled towards the south. Below the middle of the arc of the city was in the artificial dam of Yerkapi. So there we go. But if you look, you can see how they're divided up into different areas. It's down that way over there where the Lion's Gate was. Can't really see where that is now, but that is quite stunning. The view is amazing. We've got rattlings of thunder behind us. There's another gate there. We take our walk down to the van, but that is fantastic. I think that's another opening to the city, or this is an opening onto the ramparts. So you would get from here up onto the actual top of the wall itself. So this would be what you class as your rampart. So I'll show you the top of the wall is here, but not really a lot to see. There you go. But what a formidable, fantastic place. Okay, this is King's Gate. The gate is situated to the southeast of the city fortification. This is the best preserved city gate of Hattusha. In position, form and size, it matches the Lion Gate in the southwest of the city walls. It is flanked by 2 towers and has an inner and outer doorway, both parabola shaped and once about 5 metres in height. These entrances were furnished with pairs of wooden doors that opened to the interior of the monument. The pivot stones are still visible. The left block of the inner doorway bears in high relief the representation of a god dressed as a warrior with an axe, sword and helmet. The original relief is in the Museum of Anatolian Civilizations in Ankara. The approach to the gate from the outside was by way of a ramp that was protected by a separate outer wall or bastion. So that's what it would have looked like. So they call this one's King's Gate. And that is man size. He is pretty much the same height as me. So I would say that is to side. I'll get Christine to stand next to him, and then you'll get some idea. So there you go.
Bigger than me.
On there. And he's just fractionally bigger than me. I'll get Christine to. There you go.
Yep.
Just fractionally bigger than me.
On your battery does. You carry on, get your battery.
Anyway, these are the two inner and outer walls. These are the, what I was talking about is the, for the pivots for the door. And this is the, obviously the outer wall. You have to remember as well that these, the rampart sections that are on the outside, are like the wall that we saw on the other side. They build on top of it. So there's this wooden wattle and daub type structure based on top of these walls. Quite a formidable gate, a bigger gate than the others. Like your water source, it's partly reconstructed. I think that water is still of a drinking quality, believe it or not. Although we're not going to drink any of it.
No.
I'm not anyway.
Not either.
Larger buildings were erected by the Hittites. Access to the building on top was gained by way of a ramp in the rock cleft to the left that ended in a parabola shaped gate. Presuming that would have been over here somewhere. Oh, maybe up there somewhere. With a representation of sphinxes on either side, resembling the outer doorway of the Sphinx Gate. The name of Nisantes, it means stone with signs, and stems from a hieroglyphic Loean inscription of 11 lines and 8.5 metres long. It's carved in relief on an artificially smooth part of the rock to the right. This badly weathered inscription is only partly deciphered. In all probability, it is a narration of the deeds of Suppiluliuma II, the last king of Hattusha, and told by himself. Figure 1 shows line 1 beginning from top right, so that's there. But we're going to have a look at this, which is here. So these are the hieroglyphics that are on this wall. They're not really decipherable anymore. They said it's what they would have, it's been deliberately smoothed out, and then it starts at that end there and then works its way across. So yeah, it would be impossible, I think, to decipher. The views again, absolutely spectacular. It's such an amazing place. An amazing place. So, just going to have a quick walk around, and then there's the cows enjoying the day. And there's the views. That's where we came up from. Fantastic. Okay, this is Buyakali, which means big castle or royal castle. It was a residence of the Hittite kings. The plateau forms the highest point of the old city of Hattusha, with splendid views over the city and the valley to the north. Earlier traces of settlement go back to the early Bronze Age. Most of the buildings visible today belong to the monumental phase buildings, which include a renewal of the castle fortifications during the 13th century. It should show us some living quarters and such like, and then through this staircase. So we'll follow this up. I tell you, it makes you breathe heavy walking up some of these steps. Yeah. I don't know if it's because we're up in the mountains, Anyway, the king or the kings would have lived up here, overlooking, which is the old part of the city, which is all this bit. I think that was all up there later. But when I'm saying later, it's not thousands of years later. Anyway, we'll have a little bit of a look. I'm not sure if we're allowed up onto this bit. This is, yeah, the archaeologists.
Oh, yeah.
This is, I think, the bit that we was looking up at from down below, that had that covered roof over it. I had to step back to pretty much be able to see it, but I'm presuming that these would have been all part of the king's residences. I suppose bits get added. I think the theory's the same. I think the stones that are laid in here now, I think a lot of them have been put there to help you see the rooms as opposed to anything else, because the doorways and everything are all blocked up. There's no doorways into any of the rooms, so I think it just generally gives you the shape. It will not be allowed on that site up there. The archaeologists are on it, so I'm presuming this is almost as far as we'll be allowed to go. So I don't think they're going to let us go much further, but it's been good, really good. Really enjoyed it. Nice to see all the archaeologists and the workers that they have digging and marking out was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I think there's a fence around it, so it's all fenced off, look. No, so they're all fenced off where they are. There's a fence that goes around, but King's Residences, brilliant. That it has been absolutely fantastic. We keep getting the rolls of thunder.
You can see an arch over there that we're looking on as well.
Oh yeah, there's an arch that's been worked on up there. Now that we haven't seen, and there's not been any signs for that, so I think the reconstruction, that might be something that will come for future visitors. Anyway, we saw it, might have been from a distance, but all the arches seem to be in that like a pyramid type shape. But amazing views. This has been stunning. Really enjoyed this. You could just see that gateway up there. There was a tour bus that was pretty much following us right from the beginning, but apart from at the top, all I've done is just drove all the way down and out, and there's been 2 or 3 tour buses that have passed us. So you don't get, I mean, we don't know anything about it, and we're reading the boards and making it up as we go on, as we normally do, but at least we're seeing the things, whereas I don't think you get the proper, you know, if I've paid for a tour, I want to see it. We're on our way to Coram now. we've got a bit of drizzle, just spitting a bit. Just sailing this boat to Coram. Raining hard. Oh yeah, then. Not forecast to have any rain at Coram.
No, it's supposed to be sunny all day. It might
Supposed to be sunny all day, but we have got another 20 odd miles to go, so there's a bit of luck we'll come out. Oh, bit of lightning there. I don't know. Oh, there's the thunder. I don't know if you can hear that. I think the lightning might be just behind us. I can see the light. I saw the light. There we go. But I don't mind it raining, as long as it doesn't rain when I'm out of the van.
No.
I'll tell you what I could do with these beautiful glasses. We're just outside a town called Coram. And we're on this campsite. There's a caravan there and a caravan there, showers and toilets down there. It's nice and clean. We've come because actually it's been a week since we've had electricity and a few days since we've had a proper clean down with a shower. But the place is pretty fantastic, to be quite honest. It's clean, great value. I think it was cost us 150 TL, which is what, 4, 8, 12, 16, 4 quid, 5 quid. Got a bit of washing out as well, so just done a little bit on there on the line. Hopefully that'll dry tonight. Brilliant.